You might not be satisfied with the way the government is working, but there are other places to turn and other people to turn to. Non-governmental organizations are the way to go if you want to help people, build schools and make every Miss World contestant happy by airing world peace. And that is enough for me to sign up with a couple of such NGOs. I'm your host Uwais Mangalwala, and today we are going to focus on NGOs and their work on the ground and in the online world. So just how much work are the NGOs doing on the ground and how are they utilizing the power of internet for their activities? Is it just to collect money online, or is it just to recruit volunteers for their organization? Or are there any other ways in which the internet is helping them? And does it really pay? All this and much more in this brand new edition of Wired and Active. Let's start things off with a segment we called Keyboard Politics, where we give you the latest news making the rounds on our local blogs. Hina Safdar wrote on the blog Chaurangi.com under the post Pervez Musharraf's protocol in UK by Pakistan government justified, where she writes about the former president's entourage. He has at his disposal the services of at least 12 regular officers of the Pakistan Army for his security in London, headed by a serving colonel. The team of officers is deputed at Mr. Musharraf's luxurious residence for his security and for providing him daily services. This team is being paid a huge amount per month from the National Exchequer. The author goes on to say that while suffering from the ongoing crisis, the probability of Article 6 over him and rumours of treason charges the protocol Pakistani government is providing him is questionable. Arif Rafiq posted on the Pak Policy blog with the header, "With Baitullah dead, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan down but not out," in which he questions whether the TTP can survive the serious blow. In addition to choosing a new leader, the Baitullah network will likely try to pull out of a forceful attack in the NWFP or deeper into Pakistan. The message would be, this battle continues even after Baitullah. The author even asks whether now the Pakistani public will warm up to the idea of drone strikes, considering it killed our public enemy number one using the very same technology which we were so against. Mr. Rafiq goes on to say that the expectations are that any change in the Pakistani security establishment and public will be partial, but not a game changer. A lot has made the news in cyberspace internationally, so let's head on to our segment, Global Wires, where we give you the news coming in from the international community. Hackers on Thursday shut down the fast-growing messaging service Twitter for hours while Facebook experienced intermittent access problems. Twitter said it suffered a denial-of-service attack in which hackers command scores of computers toward a single site at the same time, preventing legitimate traffic from getting through. The attacks may have been related to the ongoing political conflict between Russia and Georgia. They started with hackers using a botnet to send a flurry of spam email messages that contained links to pages on Twitter, Facebook and other websites. Amongst all this commotion, an interesting piece of news has emerged. A pro-Georgian blogger with accounts on Twitter, Facebook, LiveJournal and Google's Blogger and also YouTube was targeted in a denial-of-service attack that led to the site-wide outage on Twitter and problems at the other sites. This was according to a Facebook executive. Iraq is considering blocking websites deemed pornographic or that incite violence or crime, triggering fears of a return to Saddam Hussein-style state censorship and government propaganda. Some Iraqi lawmakers said they were concerned that such censorship could be used for political or sectarian ends. Years of slaughter between the country's minority Sunni and majority Shiite Muslims have only abated in the last 18 months. It was not clear whether such a bill would be drafted or if the government would unilaterally impose censorship rules. Lawmakers in Iraq want the law to pass through the parliament as they contend that censorship is a double-edged sword and that it could send the country back to becoming a dictatorship, but in new clothing. And now coming to the topic of our show, that is how NGOs utilize the power of internet for their work. Our very own Mubin Nasir visited an NGO in Karachi to check out their activities on the ground and whether they are utilizing the true potential of the online world. Let's take a look.
These street children are learning how to build furniture along with learning Urdu, English and math, all for free. They are students of the Garaj School, a non-profit organization serving underprivileged families from Karachi's Neelam Colony area.
It's a lot that I've done. I've jumped up from leaps and bounds. 10 years I just started in my garage.
Mrs. Shabina Mustafa started her NGO back in 1999 from a little vacant space in her apartment complex where she imparted basic education to children of domestic servants from her neighborhood. She has never looked back from that time and now has 2 different campuses with a total enrollment of more than 300 adults and children. Students are not only taught English, Urdu and math but also receive training in vocational skills like carpentry, sewing, printing and working as electricians. Of course, all this costs money. Shabina has managed to raise funds through her friends and family so far, but now wants to expand her operations to the next level.
I run on a sponsorship scheme, as I told you, which is just 10,200 rupees a year for a child.
Short documentaries about the Garaj School have been put up online and the NGO also has its own website. The overwhelming response to these on the internet has inspired Shabina to seek volunteers and aid online.
I have gone through online, I have made attempts through internet, and I would not say that I am here today not because of just asking anybody on the road for help. It is through the computer, it is through TV, it is through media.
In the past 10 years, the Garaj School has imparted basic education and skills to scores of children from areas like Neelam Colony. But now its owner, Ms. Shabina Mustafa, hopes to take it to the internet and use it to propel the school to the next level. Mubin Nasir, Tone News, Karachi.
It's time for a very short break now, but coming up after the break, a tech-savvy NGO concerned for Children's Trust. See you after the break.